Good afternoon, I'm Vashan Brown with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. TVJ News has been informed that Chairman of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Sarah Wentworth Charles, is to receive a preliminary report today on the case involving Jodian Ferron, the pregnant woman who was denied admission at 2 hospitals and later died after giving birth. She was first a patient at Andrews Memorial Hospital, a private institution, when she started to display symptoms of COVID-19. Andrews Memorial said it then tried to have her admitted at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital and the University Hospital of the West Indies. Andrews says it was not equipped to treat a patient with respiratory challenges and COVID-19 symptoms. The 2 hospitals refused to accept her. Our news centre has been informed that Mr. Charles has requested reports from the administration of the Victoria Jubilee Hospital and the Spanish Town Hospital where Ms. Ferron delivered her baby. After Ms. Ferron gave birth, she was transferred to the University Hospital where she died. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton yesterday requested an investigation. He said the probe will include a review of protocols in the private and public healthcare systems to identify possible system weaknesses or an operational breakdown in the handling of the Jodian Ferron case. In a Twitter post yesterday, Dr. Tufton said no one should be denied access to health care. The opposition People's National Party is calling for the establishment of a COVID-19 Prevention, Planning and Oversight Committee, CPOC. This suggestion came from the party's president, Dr. Peter Phillips, during a national broadcast on Sunday night. Prince Moore has the details.
350 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and climbing. It's the basis for the call by the opposition for the establishment of an oversight committee. Opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips says the committee will enable a much more inclusive planning approach to the fight against the coronavirus. Dr. Phillips said CPOC would be responsible for sequencing the areas and sectors to be restarted as the economy seeks to eventually reopen.
It is clear that the key to Jamaica's economic recovery is a modern agricultural sector, which provides both food security and builds our capacity for export. Other critical elements of the new Jamaica for CPOC to plan will involve the redesign of businesses and operations in the public and private sectors to meet the changed world by improving e-commerce and digital agility, the equipping of public spaces to provide services to meet the required standards of sanitation and hygiene protocols of a changed consumer, and for a world that may require social distancing for some time until a vaccine is found.
He's also calling for the government to be careful in the handling of the business process outsourcing sector. Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently ordered all BPOs to be closed for 14 days. The announcement came as there was an increase in the number of cases from the ALORICA call center in Portmore St. Catherine. But this warning from the opposition leader.
I urge the government to proceed cautiously with the BPOs as one of the few remaining sources of foreign exchange earnings. And remember, many families depend on the income from BPO work to survive. However, we cannot risk the lives of our people. To protect this sector of the economy, the government must establish and enforce new and better standards for their operations.
In the meantime, on a community level, Dr. Phillips is requesting an increase in the Constituency Development Fund to better serve constituents.
The administration can also help the people by increasing the special constituency funding available under the CDF to $10 million for each member of parliament so they can effectively assist in the relief and welfare efforts on the ground. Indeed, especially given their sacrifices and the needs of their own families, the government needs to provide a special risk and hardship payment for all those on the frontline sanitation workers.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
At least one worker at the ALORICA call center in Portmore St. Catherine is calling for Jamaicans to show more tolerance towards the workers. Her call comes as discrimination heightens against them due to the number of positive cases of COVID-19 identified at the location. Here's O'Shane Masters.
In the latest release from the Ministry of Health, 178 of the 350 confirmed coronavirus cases in Jamaica are from the ALORICA call center in Portmore. The employee, who we will call Margaret, says she has been under home quarantine. She has been tested and is awaiting the result. Margaret told our news center this morning that she has been reading the negative comments about employees of ALORICA. Those comments, she argues, have left her feeling distressed. She alluded to a story in the Gleaner today where residents who reside on Queens Drive in Montego Bay are upset about the use of the El Greco Resort as a quarantine facility.
What is the government supposed to do with us? Throw us away? We have this world anthem that says one love. So it's time to show one love to our people. Nobody went out and buy COVID-19. None of us want it. But it's here, and what we need to do is to thank God that we are not having people dying, dropping down around the place. What we are having is a milder case, it seems, because some of the persons are in quarantine. There hardly there's any symptoms. And we are being treated as if it's leprosy.
She says she understands the fear associated with the virus, but if the safety guidelines are followed, the risks of contracting the virus will be minimized. Margaret is calling for Jamaicans to seek to help the quarantined employees with basic necessities.
Pray for them so we get over it quickly. What you could do is try and probably ask the MOH if you can carry some snack or something that helps. That makes it a little easier and get over it quicker. I'm just tired of this negativeness every time you hear it. Every time you hear it, it's the same. You know what I mean? We need a break, man.
In the meantime, Margaret says the discrimination is particularly hurting the largely young population from the call center.
I've spoken to them. Some of them is so frustrated. So sometimes they make video of the dancing and doing all kind of things just to heal themselves and keep themselves. Because like somebody was supposed to go into quarantine today, and she was so nervous. She was so afraid. She was so afraid that to help her on the site and put her up on, on the WhatsApp. So, it shouldn't be like this.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And we now take a break on Midday News. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back, continuing the news. That's not negotiable, that response by the Negril police following requests made by detainees at the Negril lockup to be released. Detainees picked up under the state of emergency in Westmoreland were expected to be released on April 25. However, Deputy Superintendent at the Negril Police Station, Adrian Hamilton, says their release date was extended to July 25.
That news that was transferred to the detainees got them agitated because they said they were expecting to be released come April. Now, for the most part, the detainees that are held with detention orders that are signed by the Minister of National Security, and there's avenues for these persons to object to their detention. They can file that through the tribunal. Their cases now be heard before the tribunal, and that avenue is open to them.
Now, several family members of the detainees claimed they were not informed of the changes. To add to their frustration, family members argue that they were not allowed to visit their relatives.
We came to visit our baby fathers, family members, etc. However, there is some form of problem with them inside there. I don't know what happened. I figure out more than less it's because the state has extended. They are frustrated, they are confused because some of them is there like approximately 1 year now without knowing what's actually happening with them. We come this morning to do visit. The gate is closed, the station gate is closed. No one came to say anything until everybody started to quarrel and stuff like that. They came to say that they are not taking any visit. The reason why no one knows.
A decision was taken that concerned the security situation, that the visits that were scheduled for today would have been suspended. Now, these visits have not been suspended indefinitely, but to bring the situation under control and for normalcy to return, because there are some other internal works that has to be done based on some things that were done to the facility itself.
Meanwhile, residents in Negril want to know whether those persons picked up during the COVID-19 island-wide curfew will be housed in the same facility as state of emergency detainees. Deputy Superintendent of Police Adrian Hamilton addressed their concerns.
No new detainees are held at this facility. Within the division, we have a stipulated facility that if somebody is picked up, they are taken to that facility and has to spend at least 14 days at that location before they are integrated any at all with the detainees that are already in custody.
DSP Hamilton says so far he's not had any issues with the curfew, as residents in the parish have been complying. A few wholesale and shop operators in Portmore St. Catherine are worried this afternoon. They say the distribution trucks of a number of their suppliers have been going into communities to sell to residents during shopping days. They say that has caused a reduction in customers since the start of the parish-wide lockdown. DALETHA Stephen owns an affected business in the Caribbean Estate gated community.
There's a number of trucks parked inside. You're talking about National, Spacey, CB, Lifespan. There's a number of trucks over there, and they are selling to customers, and they are selling more cheaper than the wholesale and the other businesses. We are affected based on we do not have any customers, no customers coming, and this is happening from the last week. There are a number of businesses that are affected, and they are sharing the same concern.
They're concerned that this may force them to shut. NELLISHA RICKETTS, who operates Antonelli's Wholesale in Port Henderson Plaza, says the situation cannot be allowed to continue.
I am wondering if this is something that is going to continue, where we are going to have this every week or every shopping day that the government gives to us, right? Because the companies that we purchase our goods from, all the companies, they are the same companies that supplying the persons in the communities now for the same pricing. So, the people are not going to choose to leave them house to come all the way on the road to purchase from we wholesalers when it's coming straight into them community. You understand?
Now, we reached out to the mayor of Portmore, Leon Thomas, who said he'll be investigating these concerns. He acknowledged, though, that companies have been allowed to operate in the municipality on the shopping days, but in designated areas. To some good news now. The elderly and members of the disabled community got some well-needed food items on the weekend, thanks to the municipal corporation and a team of people who supplied the items.
Early Saturday morning, a 40-foot container laden with a variety of food items for the elderly and members of the disabled community rolled into Portmore. Andre Lou and his uncle Dwight came up with the idea and engaged Portmore's mayor, Leon Thomas.
We basically support majority of the farmers that really need the help right now in this situation with the backed up produce that they have right now. So we see it as a perfect timing now where we can help them and also give back some to the Portmore people that need it.
President of the Portmore Self-Help and Disability Organization, Bridget Johnson-Bickett, says the over 2,000 disabled persons in Portmore are struggling, so the food items will fill a gap.
As an organization, I had already reached out to assist them by way of getting some food supply. I am happy that I reached out to the municipal council, and of course the mayor came on board to assist us in this venture, so I am feeling ecstatic this morning.
The mayor says similar initiatives are badly needed in Portmore.
There's no words to describe the feeling at this time when I received the call, and even this morning when the 40-foot trailer arrived with the items that are there. All of us, councillors, myself, my entire team are elated about this gesture. And we are hoping that other companies that operate within the municipality or even outside of the municipality, if they can make contribution also to our physical challenged people in Portmore.
The mayor also says the team is already planning to pack another container to fill the remaining need. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Time now for sports. Former Jamaica and West Indies fast bowler Michael Holding has urged Cricket West Indies to do some serious planning during the break caused by COVID-19. He also sees some positives from the current Test and ODI teams.
With the consensus that cricket in the region is dying, the coronavirus pandemic couldn't come at a worse time. Or maybe it came at the perfect time. Jamaica and West Indies legend Michael Holding believes the cricket leaders across the Caribbean should utilize the break to formulate plans to revive the sport.
They can sit down and think to themselves now, how are we going to go forward now when we can play cricket again, when we can tour again? And when I say West Indies Cricket Board, I don't just mean the people that are in Antigua sitting on the board, whatever number of them they are. I'm talking about West Indies Cricket on a whole. The regional boards in Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, everybody should be sitting down now and thinking to themselves, how can we plan to go forward? What can we do a little bit better? What can we do differently to make things better going forward? That should not be a problem right now. They have nothing else to do.
Before the halt of cricket, the 66-year-old was pleased with some signs shown by the West Indies Test and ODI team.
I have seen enough talent in that team to give me the idea that yes, if we work hard enough, if we put enough into the infrastructure and the development of these youngsters around the Caribbean, we can get back to where we want to be. And I'm not going to tell everybody that we're going to dominate for as long as we did, or even for half the length of time that we did years ago. But no team is doing that now anyway. We just want to get back to a level where everybody is now proud of our West Indies cricket team again, and everybody is fearing playing us.
Meanwhile, Holding, who is regarded as one of the greatest fast bowlers in history, says the modern-day pacers around the world are being overworked. He suggested that they focus on fewer formats of the game to increase their longevity.
Have less cricketers, and especially fast bowlers, playing across the formats, where they'll get a break when they know that one day is coming up. Yeah. They say, yes, we'll have 4 test matches, let they put in everything into these 4 test matches. For the next 3 weeks after that, I won't be playing because the other guys were playing in the ODIs. And so their bodies get a bit more rest. So I think you'll find more fast bowlers willing to put in the extra effort. Because right now I think there are guys out there, Simon, that can bowl faster than what they're actually bowling.
Holding was speaking on Hits 92 FM's Sports Grill with Simon Crosskill. Daniel Blake, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Vashan Brown. Don't forget to join us at 7 for Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon and a wonderful